We're glad to have you join us this afternoon. This is Flow News at Noon on Flow 94.9 FM. It is the flow of God's own state. The headlines. President Buhari swears in Tanko Muhammad as new Chief Justice of Nigeria. IG urges media to sensitize the public on limit of their rights during protest. Abians react to the ministerial nominees by President Buhari, and on the foreign scene, South Korea maintains Russia regrets a violation of its airspace. The details shortly. We begin this afternoon on the floor of the Senate, where the Abia State ministerial nominee is presently answering questions from the members of the Senate. And also, the Abia State ministerial nominee believes Uche Oga believes rural infrastructure development will go a long way in addressing unemployment as well as improving the economy of the country.
In the downstream cannot recoup their investment as a result of epileptic policies in the downstream sector. And I believe that what this nation needs is that people who have experience, people who have been tested, people who knows what to do, they can bring in ideas. And based on those ideas, the Senate will come up with laws that will guide our downstream sector so that investment both in downstream and even in upstream can be protected. Not only downstream, every investment in Nigeria should be protected by law. And that is the responsibility.
A live audio feed from the floor of the Senate in Abuja, where Dr. Uchechukwu Samson Oga is presently answering questions from the senators on the floor of the Senate. He also spoke while feeding questions from the senators. He spoke during the screening exercise and said youth unemployment could be addressed when enabling environment is created for business to thrive.
So by the time we increase our infrastructure, thereby creating jobs, the best thing we can do as a nation, so it is when we take interest in our nation, which is Nigeria, and looking at it holistically and how we can develop all the critical infrastructures. We have electricity, you have good roads, we do not need to concentrate most of our industries in the urban areas. We need to create industrialization in most of the rural areas.
Moving on, President Muhammadu Buhari has sworn in Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad as the new Chief Justice of Nigeria at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Details of that event will come to you in a subsequent bulletin. The Presidential Election Petition Tribunal today dismissed the petition filed by the People's Democratic Movement and its presidential candidate Amici Habu, challenging the victory of Muhammadu Buhari at the February 23, 2019 poll. This followed an application by the petitioner's lawyer Aliyu Lemu for withdrawal of the petition. Lemu informed the five-man tribunal led by Justice Mohammed Garuba that his clients gave the instruction for the withdrawal of the petition. The tribunal, in an unanimous ruling, subsequently dismissed the petition. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, wants the media to help in sensitizing the public on the need to know the limit of exercising their rights, especially during protest. Speaking while condoling with Channels Television over the death of their reporter during the Shade protest in Abuja, Adamu harped on the need for protesters to be mindful of laid-down rules as stipulated by Nigeria's constitution while ventilating their grievances.
So we want the people in the media to play your role. We're not saying that you should support us when we are wrong, no. But let the members of the public know that what these people are doing is not right. Nobody is preventing them from protesting. But you don't go out to injure people because you are sending a message, because you want to protest. The media should let members of the public know that there's a limit to exercising your right. Even the Constitution that gave us the right as human beings, it still gave conditions under which those rights be curtailed.
The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, wants the media to help in sensitizing the public on the need to know the limit in exercising their rights, especially during protest. And moving on, there was a rowdy session in the House of Representatives yesterday over the recent clashes between members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria and the police. Mohammed Bello from Kano State has raised a matter of urgent public importance on the protest by the Shiite in Abuja, saying the police force seemed to be overwhelmed, and called on the Inspector General of Police to declare the gathering of the group as illegal. On his part, Stanley Olajide called for meaningful dialogue to tackle the problem before it spirals out of control.
Concerned that if urgent steps are not taken to proscribe Islamic Movement of Nigeria or declare their assembly unlawful in Nigeria, the group may likely arm itself and turn a deadly group.
That is the greatest problem that we are being faced with today. And the earlier we resolve them, the better for our economy, the better for our children, and then the better for the country at large.
This protest, incessant protest, which is leading to killings of Nigerians, is anti-Islamic.
The lawmakers, however, called on the executive to obey the court order if it has ordered the release of the leader of the Shiites while he was being prosecuted.
My amendment is specific to Kaduna State government. To obey the court order that had granted bail to the Sheikh, because that would actually guarantee peace.
Those in support of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. I'm going to do the division right here and now. Who are for the motion of Honorable Linda, please occupy the first two rows here. Those against, the second two rows here.
In his response, Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila wondered why the group did not keep faith with the agreement it entered with the delegation of the House. The president of the Nigeria Medical Association, Francis Faduyile, is appealing to President Muhammadu Buhari to stop the kidnapping of doctors in the country. This appeal, he said, became imperative because the continued abduction of doctors was capable of hampering health care delivery in the country. He pointed out that two medical doctors, Sunday Oduniya and Audu Sule, were kidnapped in Taraba State on March 19, and despite the payment of ransom, their abductors had refused to free them. Faduyile further noted that although President Muhammadu Buhari has assured that one of his government's priorities is to provide security for all, they are appealing to the federal government to ensure security in hospitals so that doctors can offer their best for the health of the nation. A member of the House of Representatives from Osun State, Taiwo Oluga, is raising an alarm over the high rate of out-of-school children in Nigeria, as illustrated by UNICEF. Making her submission during a matter of public importance, Oluga said about 10.5 children are out of school in Nigeria and called for investigation by the House into the activities of universal basic education in Nigeria.
According to UNICEF, approximately 10.5 million children in Nigeria between the ages of 5 and 14 years are out of school. That the chairman of the Universal Basic Education appeared when the committee is put in place to appear before the House Committee on Basic Education immediately to explain the challenges in the operation of the program and the reason for the high number of out-of-school children in Nigeria.
And now the People's Democratic Party has described the president's ministerial list as colorless, stagnant, and uninspiring. Reacting after the list was presented to the Senate yesterday, the party's National Publicity Secretary, Kola Ologbondiyan, also said it does not convey any sense of hope and purposeful governance under the All Progressives Congress APC. Ologbondiyan said the list is replete with incompetent individuals who failed in their erstwhile ministerial assignments and left their ministries in shambles. Reactions have continued to trail the list of ministerial nominees sent to the Senate for confirmation by President Muhammadu Buhari. A public affairs analyst, Mike Undu, said Nigerians are expectant of the nominees to bring their wealth of experience to drive the economy of the country.
The appointment is also spread across all the states in Nigeria. I am particularly interested in the appointment of Dr. Samson Oga of Abia State. All we are asking for is competence and for our economy to be beautifully driven. That is just my take on that.
Also, a journalist, Steve Oko, lamented the recycling of the same politicians as against technocrats promised by the president.
We had expected that the president would consider technocrats, would consider people without much skeleton or even any skeleton in their cupboard, but it's just a recycling of the old cargo, so to speak. So personally, I'm not quite impressed with those who made the list.
And back home in Abia State, following the ongoing Aba Ubakala road construction in Umuahia, the site engineer is assuring that the road will be completed at a record time. Speaking with Flow FM News, the site engineer maintained that though some shops encroached into the area where the construction is ongoing, they will make sure the work is continued. Also, the member representing Umuahia South at the Abia State House of Assembly, Jerry Uzosike, has said the legislature will ensure the road is completed through their oversight function. Flow News at noon continues shortly with business, foreign, and sports news. Do stay tuned. Thank you very much for staying tuned. And now straight to business. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has confirmed plans by the bank to restrict foreign exchange for the importation of milk. Emefiele, who made this known while addressing journalists at the end of the two-day meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee of the bank, said that owing to the $1.2 billion to $1.5 billion spent yearly on milk importation, the bank intends to provide loan facilities for backward integration and milk production in Nigeria. And on the foreign scene, a Russian official has said a military jet's intrusion into South Korean territorial airspace was not intentional, according to Seoul's presidential office. South Korea says the official expressed deep regret to the defense ministry and blamed a technical glitch. However, Russia has not officially commented, but earlier it furiously denied entering South Korean airspace. And in sport, Chelsea manager Frank Lampard says he's hopeful the club's midfielder N'Golo Kante will return to full fitness for the start of the new season. The Frenchman travelled back to London last week from the Blues' pre-season trip to Japan in order to continue his rehabilitation for injury connected to the knee problem he sustained at the end of the last season. Speaking after Chelsea's 2-1 win over Barcelona, Lampard explained the reasoning behind Kante's withdrawal from the tour. And that sports story wraps it this afternoon on Flow News at noon on Flow 94.9 FM. To end the news, a recap of our major stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has sworn in Tanko Muhammad as the new Chief Justice of Nigeria. Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu wants the media to help in sensitizing the public on the need to know the limit in exercising their rights, especially during protests. Abians have expressed their feeling over the ministerial list sent to the Senate by President Buhari. And on the foreign scene, a Russian official has said a military jet's intrusion into South Korean territorial airspace was not intentional, according to Seoul's presidential office. Thanks for being with us. Remember that security is everyone's business. Provide useful information to security agencies to ensure your security. Join us at 6:45 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m. every weekday for additional newscast. This is Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. You can send your views or information to flowfmnews@gmail.com or visit www.flownews.com.ng for more stories. This bulletin was edited by Ginika Oloha. Supervising editor Samson Eze. My name is Michael Oni. Do enjoy the rest of your brunch time.